Have you ever reached a point in life where you're like, I feel like I'm in this in-between stage. I feel stuck. I feel awkward. I feel uncomfortable. Have you ever reached a stage in your life where you feel a little uncomfortable, a little awkward, in that weird in-between place where your clothes are not really who you are anymore, or they don't really feel right when you put them on? I worked in customs for a long time, and it was all about nuts and bolts and regulations and laws, and I kind of felt like in that phase of my life, it was very rigid. It was always about compliance, always about legal. It was always about 13 days, 6 days, or 7 days to clearance, or 7 days out to the port. And that became my whole world, because not only did I embody it in my 9-to-5 job, I would just be the person who would be advocating at customs events, and in the industry, it became my whole existence. Until I was like, I don't want to be in that. I think it was filling my time with trying to prove something in my life, because I felt like I needed to have a real career or something. I felt like I filled my time with customs and advocacy and customs education work, because I felt like that was the thing to do when you're in the business. And then I did that for a little bit, and I felt lost. I felt really lost in a place in my life. I didn't feel good about myself. I had reached a point where I had achieved all these amazing things. I got my customs license, I got my girl boss job as a manager. I was killing it. I was making my KPIs, I was making my numbers, I was advocating for my staff. But what about me? What about all the things that made me excited? I felt for a long time that I lost myself in the numbers and being in career and advancement and all those other things, when I just had hit a point where I was really burnt out. I was lost. I was like, I have given my career and my life and my time to this industry, to this work. And it was all about compliance and legal and making sure that I didn't compromise my license. And I was like, why? At the end of the day, I didn't care. At the end of the day, I was like, okay, I don't think customs is gonna take my license away from me if I did something wrong. But sometimes you make your best guess estimate at the time of clearance or whatever. And so I had reached a point where I was really lost. And I felt like my clothes reflected that. My clothes were all over the place. They were really rigid, they were really form-fitting, and I didn't have any sort of way to express myself outside of work and something creative and something exciting. So I decided to do a drastic career change. I left the industry and I was lost. I wanted to be a stylist. For some reason, I was like, oh, what do I wear now? What does me in this new phase of my life look like? I'm no longer a girl boss. I'm no longer a manager. What does that look like for me? And I really didn't know. And so when I decided to embark on this drastic career change, I want to be a stylist. I love the creative collaboration between all the different teams, being able to put together a story, because I love that part of storytelling. I went to school as a journalism major. I wanted to tell stories. So I thought wardrobe styling would be a great way to segue into that. And here I was as a customs broker trying to enter a whole new world, something very creative. And I wasn't very stylish. I was very awkward and I was very afraid. I didn't want to tell people because it was embarrassing for me. And I thought to myself, what would it look like if I started to, I spent a few years as a wardrobe stylist, and I was like, oh, this is fun. But what I really want to do, what really speaks to me, is sharing my voice and sharing my story. I wanted to show people how to reclaim their style, reclaim their confidence, because I wasn't very confident for a long time. I was always very quiet, and I'm still very quiet. But I'm also very energetic and very excited. I love talking to people about their clothes. I love helping people find that confidence that they lost because they didn't know themselves. And that's been like the biggest joy for me, is like the more I built my confidence talking to people and looking at things on the street and getting ideas and getting inspiration by going out, exploring a different side of myself. I didn't used to be someone who'd go out late at night. I would do a lot of like concerts and stuff like that, but I never went to clubs like late night. I was like going exploring and dipping my toes in a different side of the world. The late night world feels very strange. I don't know what to wear. How do I show up? I can't be wearing my business clothes. And so I spent a few years really trying to find myself. It was very awkward and afraid to tell people about this like new side of myself. Now that I've really built up my confidence, I've had a chance to work with clients, I really felt like a huge push to really come out and start sharing my story and talking more and getting on camera again, because it's not one of my favorite things. But I felt like a huge push to start talking again, start making videos and putting out new work, and telling you about this new journey where I'm trying to reclaim my own style, like trying to find my own confidence again and trying to find my own creativity. So what do you do when you don't know your style? What do you do when you're lost? What do you do when things feel awkward? So one of the things that really helped me was to explore and let my curiosity peak in other areas. Having a lot of support and a lot of friends who love thrifting. And my friend Dawn, because she has been a huge inspiration in my creativity in this journey. She'll go thrifting and she'll like, oh, why don't you try this? Or why don't you try that? And I think a lot of it also has been like taking the time not to buy things. I've allowed myself to buy a few things in this process as I start to find my confidence. I've always been the girl that sits in the corner and hopes that someone notices her, or just been the girl who's just, I've always been the kind of person who's, I'm going to advocate for everyone else except for myself. And so this was like a big turning point. I'm trying to reclaim myself. I'm trying to have more confidence. I'm trying to carry myself in a way where people know that, yes, I'm a stylist. So the first step I thought was to really explore what that style meant. I volunteer on the weekends at a community center, and they have a clothing bin. They get clothing donations, and my friend was looking for an extra set of hands. She asked if I would come and help her organize and sort the clothes, and I've been doing that for the last 3 years. And I noticed that over the 3 years, it's really helped me explore styles that I would never consider before. My friend Teresa was like, that looks cute, you should try that. And so having a lot of encouragement from people in your circle without necessarily directly telling them that you're looking for new things, but I'm just quietly exploring and checking things out, has really given me a lot of encouragement and confidence in building my own style. My friend, when we were volunteering, she saw this, and we knew that it just been sitting in the bins for probably a month and it had not been picked up. She saw it and said, Janet, you should have this. I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna show you the pieces first, and then I'll try them each on individually and tell you what I think. So this is one of the pieces that another volunteer picked out for me. I've been dipping my toes in this whole different side of myself. I like to go out late at night. I like to go to different events, and I like to go to art galleries, and I like to go out to different music events. And so what does that look like going out to these places? How do I want to show up? I want to show up in a way that's accessible and not like I'm trying too hard. I definitely don't want to be wearing, I want to be comfortable. I want to be fun, and I want to be able to express myself. That I picked out recently were these Urban Outfitters jeans. I picked them out because I love the style. It's like 80s, a little bit relaxed fit. I thought it's current and very trendy, like with the cargo pockets right at the side in a darker tone. It looked really cool and it fit perfectly. So I'll show you how I decided to style some of these pieces in a separate video, and try tomorrow I'll show you. I have a lot of jeans. Jeans are my staples. But this, I found this at a garage sale, and it was like, she gave it to me for super cheap, like $7. I bought a pair in black and then this lighter brown, because I thought the black was a little too strong for me. But I love this light brown color if it doesn't fit, and I can always take to my tailor and get alterations. But I thought these were really cool. I could wear these to a party or to go out to an event, or just as an everyday thing. I just love that. So I'm gonna hold it up a little bit bigger, because look, it's suede leather. I love how it's a straight leg style, but I thought, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of a tear at the bottom, and I thought that's fine. I actually had this cool idea about expanding it and making it a lace up or adding garage. So I'm really excited to show you the process of me reclaiming my style with these, and I'm excited to show you how I reclaimed my style and reclaimed my confidence, because it's taken me years. I was really embarrassed. I was really afraid to show up in this new way, because everyone had knew me as the business, the customs person for a long time. I knew all my rules, I knew all my regulations, but I didn't know myself in the process. I didn't have that joy for myself in my style and my creativity and my practice. And so being able to reclaim my confidence has given me a newfound joy for showing up in the world and telling people about all the things that I do. One of the things I've also been doing is also just picking out things from other people's closet. So my aunt cleaned out her closet recently. I love the color, the olive green, just felt really, and I love that it's pleated and it's a wide leg and it's a crop because I'm short. And it has the elastic, so it's very breezy, something you can just throw on if you're in a hurry. But it's kind of cool. I love this. And I thought, oh, it's flowy, it's fun. Maybe I could style it in a way that's casual, but not so dressy. for summer. So these are pieces that are really getting me excited because I can see this newfound joy in the way I style things, the way I show up in the world, and getting creative. One thing that's also helped too is just to see what other people have. A few months ago, my neighbor Lynn, she's in her 70s, and she was an incredible artist and upcycler, and she had all these ties that were her dad's, and she made them into a crop top, or a halter top rather. And it may be a little too small for me, but she let me have a bunch of her pieces because she's moving to a rehab facility, and so she can no longer wear these clothes. She has to wear a hospital gown. So she gave me a lot of pieces that she made from her upcycling days. And I thought this was so fun. Look at this, look at all these colorful ties. The colors I'm not too crazy about, but it gave me an idea. What if I did that with a bunch of ties and just decided to mess with them and try it out, right? This would look so cool and so gnarly. And yeah, so I wanted to come to a place in my life where it was like creative and fun and expressive. And I wanted to come into a place in my life where I could express myself in all the different ways and all the different styles. I don't always have to show up as this outlandish, crazy stylist person, because I think I felt like for a long time, in the beginning of my work as a career, in the beginning of my journey as a stylist, I was trying too hard to look a certain way. And I didn't want to try so hard. After a while, you build your confidence, you build your clientele, you get to work with people, you have a strong sense of what feels right, and you get ideas, and you're like, you know what, I don't need to shout so hard. I'm good with who I am now. I feel really good. I'm confident, I'm ready to expand my work, expand my reach, expand my offering. And so this is one of the pieces. I'm really on the fence about this one. I haven't really felt I knew how to style it. Maybe I'd add a belt or a chunky necklace, but my friend Lynn, also my neighbor friend Lynn, she also made this one, and I thought it was so cute. It was like a little baby doll dress, and I've been exploring different styles and things I would normally never wear. The old me would never even consider picking this up. I would never buy this. I would never even consider trying it on. But nowadays, I just feel like I'm ready. I'm excited to show off this new side of me. Would I wear this with Doc Martens, or would I wear this with something else? And I just love that it's not too short, it's not too long, but it's fun and kind of whimsical. And it's a mix of denim and tapestry, but with a little bit of velvet. So it's like Renaissance fair, but so it gives me a range of options to showcase my creative style. And I thought it was really cool, and I'm really excited to show you how I incorporate all of these different pieces in my day-to-day wardrobe.